Okay, I'd like to open up today's with a bit of a double from my last video because I cannot believe I missed the reference. Thank you to, I think it was a good 357 comments that told me about it, but this one, which I just could not place, is clearly now a Matrix reference. This is a really nice little Matrix Easter egg. You can even see the red pill and the blue pill on the table. This is from the white room scene from The Matrix with the TV where Morpheus and Neo are talking. Oh my god. You can actually still use the Chimera core after creating a mod with it. So you can still put it in your apartment afterwards. I don't know if that's a bug or if it's intentional, but if it's intentional, that's brilliant. Go ahead and use it and place it in your apartment. You get the best of both worlds. Thank you very much for letting me know about that. And another little mention from the last one, and I want to include this because it's actually such a cool little detail. The character they mention is Derek Frost here, who was Deacon Frost, the main nemesis in the first movie, and which I actually completely missed, so thank you very much. And then finally, this cat is apparently actually Bart Moss's cat. Not saying that Nibbles is, but the one on the magazine. Several people pointed that one out. Thank you. Okay, now let's get on to number one. This is almost like a Final Fantasy Easter egg, but it's a Star Wars Easter egg. Final Fantasy, I think it was 5 or 6, had characters Code, Biggs, and Wedge as a tribute or reference or Easter egg to Star Wars, and now Cyberpunk has done the same. During the quest The Spider and the Fly, when you're at the Expo Center, you can actually access the computer at the desk there. And if you check out the conversation here, it's from Biggs to Wedge. It's a fairly mundane conversation, but the Easter egg is the characters that are having the conversation. I must have a look, see if they had this in The Witcher as well. It'd be very funny if they actually included this in The Witcher somewhere. I'm in two minds about including this one because it's a bit of an in-joke within the tech industry. But PEPCAC Radio. PEPCAC is actually an acronym for something. If you know, you know. It's one of those things. If you don't know, yeah, I expect you're going to Google it anyway, so I'll tell you. It means problem exists between keyboard and chair. When there's a technical problem and it's not actually the computer or, whatever piece of equipment you're using, it's actually a user issue. I think that's really fun that it's called that. For those of you who might have just thought it was a randomly chosen name, there you go. It actually has actually has some meaning. But anyway, this one is absolutely awesome. I had no idea it was there, and maybe you missed it too, but there is a Predator Easter egg. You can find it here during the Killing Moon mission, just on the roof near the orbital air entrance here. I'll just show you.
Big ass, lusciously green roof, huh?
Humongous, sure. Now get through the gate.
That's brilliant. Great job finding that one. That is awesome. If you check here after you've done the quest with Songbird, Killing Moon, you're going to find a little message from her. If you want to have a look, I'm just showing you now. It's one of those, if you read this, I must be dead kind of messages that she would have left before you came to meet her. But obviously this is more, if you're reading this, then we succeeded.
If you're watching this, you know how our story ended. I'm a smidge jealous, I'll admit. I'm scared, V. But I need to trust you, and I do. And if you're watching this, I was right to. So, I thank you.
This is more of an inspiration of where this came from. I actually wanted to include it for people who didn't know and maybe haven't seen Ghost in the Shell, but this fight here is definitely inspired by Ghost in the Shell. The spider tank that Kusanagi fights, this is very, very similar looking. The same kind of thing. It's a spider tank, it's a tank with legs. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, I love this new Archer. Look at it, you can do wheelies in it. It's so cool. There's such torque off the line. That's brilliant. I've not mentioned this before, but just on the off chance, or maybe you haven't seen Edge Run, but since 2.0 we've had the revamped perk tree, and there's some perks that are all based around some of the characters, primarily Rebecca, Lucy, and David. You can see the David ones here, the Edge Runner's perk. Rebecca's perk is Die Die Die. Lucy's perk is the live wire finisher, and as we know, I've spoken about David's before, they let you overload the cyberware and give you this cool effect. If you haven't perked into this one yet, you will probably want to give it a shot. I think most people probably have, because we want to max out our cyberware, but still, during a fight you'll notice this change. You'll hear the kind of laughing, you have that kind of psychosis kind of effect, and the yellow glasses filter goes over the whole screen.
All units, we have a situation in Westbrook. Please respond. Copy, dispatch. I swear to Christ, if it's Eurodyne again.
This crashed car here has a nice little Easter egg. It's near enough the robots on the roof I showed you, just to the right of the stadium, that area there. It's a guy who was working for Mumares, El Capitan, and didn't have much success boosting a car. So this is probably why El Capitan has hired us to do the work for him, because the last guy didn't work out so well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this bit of graffiti is Godzilla. And a little correction to this one here. I picked up this one wrong. This actually might be an Oliver Twist reference. This guy seems a little bit more like Fagin, someone who's exploiting kids in this kind of area, which would actually fit with Dogtown a lot better, I think, anyway. Okay, depending on your ending, you might not have even gotten to fight Hansen. If you did, and you chose not to take him out, here is the finisher.
Dogtown Alpha Hound. My ass.
That's brutal. And here is all of his loot, and this is what you can get off of him. Another cool thing in the airport, you get to meet a fan who wants to take a selfie with you.
Remember? Agony! I'm a regular! Okay, I'm not a regular.
Huh. Must know you from some club, I'm sure of it.
Doubt it.
Got it! Yeah! Razor! Oh, you slapped him silly! Excellent fucking show of force! Hey, would you sign my chest? Or, I don't know. Let me get a pic with you.
Sure. Preem.
This is a little quick thing. Now, this is a language thing that I don't know will it translate, and people might not actually know or realize the connotation, but one of the gambling establishments in Dogtown is called the Golden Fleece. And now, anyone who's familiar with things like Jason and the Argonauts will know of the Golden Fleece. That's probably where your mind will go to. But at least in my experience, the term fleece is a simile or colloquialism for conning someone, basically taking someone to the cleaners. And that's what casinos do. They fleece people by luring them in to throw their money away on the roulette wheel. And so I thought that was really well named, the Golden Fleece. But anyway, there you go. I didn't want that one to go unnoticed because I just think it's a good gag. Now, I missed this on my first playthrough because I couldn't see it, but I zoomed in this time just in case you didn't actually get to see it. But it's really feckin' cool when the president's plane gets shot down. There's actually a number of surface-to-air missiles that get fired at Space Force One. The first couple miss, and on this one here, look, you can see they release flares. But they're too late with the second burst of flares. And look, boom, it hits. I just thought that was really cool. And because it's so small, especially if you're playing on 4K, it's really easy to miss it. So zoom into that area there and you get to see it happen. I thought that was pretty cool. Did you have noticed in Phantom Liberty, and I think this was a nod to the vanilla base game, where things really start to happen when you finally enter the kind of free roam area of Phantom Liberty after going through the garage, you end up in garbage. You start off in a heap of garbage. Now, it's a fun flu ride down into that garbage, don't get me wrong, but you end up in garbage. Just like the post-heist start of the main game. I thought that was a really kind of cool parallel there that they did that. I thought that was kind of cool. At least this time we didn't have a second construct in our head. Well, we kind of do. When you're talking to Slider, you get to chat a little bit about the situation with the Voodoo Boys and they're poking holes in the black wall. Now, I like this conversation because it really sheds a light on the whole choice you have to make in the vanilla game when you are coming up against Netwatch and you're deciding whether or not to side with Netwatch or the Voodoo Boys. I've always been siding with Netwatch. And then when you do agree to go with the Netwatch agents, they kill all the Voodoo Boys that are connected. They basically zero them straight away. And you're like, oh no, did I, pick the wrong thing? But when you actually talk to Slider here and he talks about how stupid the Voodoo Boys are trying to poke holes and get behind the black wall and how it would mean the end for us, and he's an actual supporter of what Netwatch are doing. They're basically protecting us, playing whack-a-mole, stopping the Voodoo Boys, bringing the downfall of humanity by, breaking the dam and letting all the nightmare AIs through.
Foot, do you know what it is you bring me?
Enlighten us.
How to explain to laymen? The net has layers, various vectors for translocation. But there is one thing that must not be touched. The black wall. The woman? She is walking, ticking bomb, megatons. She go boom, everybody fucked in the ass. Every last one. Miwa Noir. It is a dam that protects us, the civilized world, from the strange bets of the cyber wilderness. If your two-leg bomb crack the dam down the middle, it will unleash a flood, wipe us off the map, just like Haiti.
That why you and the Pacifica Voodoos don't see eye to eye? Because they're poking holes in the black wall?
They do not penetrate, only jerk off next to it. Netwatch try to keep them in check. But you have to be cracked in the first place to want to stick your gigit into a live wire outlet. To the AIs, past the black wall, you are no more than a cockroach, a rabbit, a fragment of outdated code with no meaning. This why Netwatch flatline any who put integrity of black wall at risk. It's no laughing matter, my friend. It is a concern for the safety of all.
This is definitely where the second game's going. At least if I was writing it, that's what I would go with. Definitely with the black wall. Definitely with AIs and Mr. Blue Eyes and all this kind of stuff. Have you seen how good the eyeballs look now? Check it out. That's amazing. I guess you see the people who've been hanged in Dogtown. They're kind of on display for all to see, but like the pirates from the first Pirates of the Caribbean at the very start, as a warning. This one guy here, he must have really pissed off the wrong person, because he got an upside down hanging and drowning all in one, it seems. But still, luckily for us, this poor gonk has an iconic for us, is the QB X Mod 2, which is a tier 5 plus iconic power assault rifle. Handy to get hold of. If you're looking for that assault rifle, that's where it is. This guy who got a concrete anchor. Oh my god. Also, which I think is interesting, there's NUSA map in here. It's junk, but perhaps this guy was an NUSA spy, and perhaps when they got found out, this is the comeuppance they got for meddling in Kurt Hansen's affairs. Having trouble finding your way in the underground facility? Look out for this handy dandy map. Just hit V, and on your screen it'll be. Oh, and speaking of guides, I know breaching is a very complicated mechanic in the game, so rest assured, if you need training, T-Bug's got you covered. It's been added to her training shard. Is this, or is this not, T-Bug's logo? Like, I'm not going to read anything into that being there, but, you know. Oh, this is a really nice touch, actually. Johnny now reads the intro for this skip to Phantom Liberty new game option.
So, Konpeki Plaza heist. Supposed to transform your life, wasn't it? Mark the beginning of the end instead, huh? Both the Emperor and a lowly Haywood Pond met their maker that day, while you got a relic to the brain, meaning that experimental Arasaka biochip. And who was on it? Enter yours truly, Johnny Silverhand. Fucking pleased to meet ya. Thing is, relics now devouring your mind, bit by bit. Voodoo Boys used you as bait. Alt can't do a damn thing to help you. And you're still dying. Know you want to save your ass feet, but remember, survival's got its price. Up to you whether you're willing to pay it, friend.
Hey, if you're enjoying this, don't forget to jack that like button, and if you want to subscribe, that would be totally awesome as well. Alright. This option actually has a number of interesting intentional glitches that were discovered by people like Flippy123x and their chooms on Reddit. For example, Dex being missing from the trash heap. My favourite one though is V getting Jackie's drink wrong. Check this out.
Chum of mine earned a spot on the menu here.
That chulo bowl with the bun? Yeah, I was sorry to hear.
Maybe mix up a shot of tequila, some grapefruit and high cola.
Yikes. No, I know what I'd want. Vodka on the rocks, lime juice, ginger beer, and most important, a splash of love.
That's him, all right.
I guess it's showing you that you've kind of skipped to a different part in a world that it's virtual. It kind of plays into the whole FF06B5 thing of it being a virtual world and not real, and how your character will experience it differently having skipped a part of life or something. It's really interesting. There's lots of other little bits and pieces about that. Another interesting thing about that, when you load into that kind of pre-built save, V is reading a book. So along with The Chessmen of Mars and For Whom the Bell Tolls, they've added Kim by Rudyard Kipling. It's a spy adventure set in Central Asia against the backdrop of the Great Game, which was a political conflict between Britain and Russia at the time. So that's interesting. And there is one other phone Easter egg. Now this one bugs my game out and I actually can't see it through, but if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description below to the Reddit article, people who discovered it. But yeah, you basically subscribe to a review thing called Pixel Fortress. So what happens is you put in the date of Cyberpunk 2077's release, but it's the American format, so it's month, day, year. So that's 12/10/2020. And you dial that number and V gets a bit of a surprise. For some reason he gets his fists out, but then the phone is completely unusable. Now I don't know how to get the phone back. Haven't worked it out yet, but apparently, and I haven't been able to see this because like I say, it bugs my phone, but for people who are able to fix it, you get a message initially that says you've subscribed to Pixel Fortress, receive new reviews every week, and it gives you a few different reviews. It talks about the legendary Interstellar Command series, so that would be Mass Effect. After years of anticipation, fans can once again board the Burgundy and travel at light speed to save the galaxy. And the full name of the title is Interstellar Command 6, The Hunt for Baron Octavian. Oh man, it talks about spectacular battles on dazzling space stations, jaw-dropping exoplanets, all this kind of stuff, shocking plot twists. Yes, the controversial ending has been hard for some die-hard fans to swallow, but you'll have to experience it for yourself. It refers to the Paladin or Scoundrel path. Talks about multiple playthroughs being worthwhile. Speaking of romance, we should emphasize that this adventure isn't just a roller coaster ride of emotions, but also gives opportunities to really form deeper connections with your crew members and strengthen bonds with previous characters from the franchise. So that's pretty cool. It also has another review of Roach Race and FPS 3, which is Feudal Peasant Simulator 3. I don't know if this is a nod to any game specifically, perhaps Kingdom Come Deliverance, but yeah, I don't know. It also covers Arasaka Tower and Big Trouble in Little Haywood, which we get to actually play. This is the one that has both Die Hard and Dirty Harry Easter eggs, and which could be also considered a riff in title alone on Big Trouble in Little China. Like I said, if they fix the bug on this one, I'll probably include it again in the future. In the clothes vendor here, this is just a bit of fun. I don't know if there's more to it than this, but there's a bit of a lucky dip here, so you can just, you know, spend some Euro dollars to see what clothes you get. It's a bit of fun. Other than that, I don't know. Do you know that the AVs are, I actually had no idea, but the AVs you see flying around, you know, the fancy ones that the Peralez's use and President, for example, they're actually Rayfield, the same people that make the Caliburn. And what's more, check it, they have built-in wine in the site. I don't know how they'd access that. Maybe it's when they get out, they can greet people with wine, but either way, it's pretty swanky. I think this is important. I'll do a quest you might miss video very soon actually, but balls to the wall. If you don't start this quest before you do Firestarter, you will miss the opportunity to do it. So make sure you find and do this one beforehand. I nearly missed this one because of changes that happened during Firestarter. This will be missed, and honestly, it's not one to miss. I really like this quest. I think it's very worthwhile doing. Gets you to experience the game from the big dog himself's point of view. Another quest that's easily missed, I would say, is Baby Let Me Take You. And this is a quest you get from Murmur El Capitan Reyes, and you only get this after doing 8 carjackings for him, or car jobs. He'll contact you and get you to do this one. Definitely worthwhile doing. It's a fun little quest to do, and you get a nice car afterwards. You get this car. Oh, it's pretty nice. But yeah, you don't really want to miss out on that. And if you haven't been doing those ones, you might not have known that that quest even existed. There's a few things like that. The quest where you have to drive these scavs out from the chapel, if you are very helpful and you find a nice amicable outcome to that one, trying to keep things spoiler free, and you go around the back here, there's a few things you can check out in this area, but one thing is you can actually meet the scav, and you know, she's mourning her brother at his burial place, which is kind of sad, but it's a nice touch at the same time.
We were twins, me and Garcia. I came out first. Guess I always thought I'd be the first to go too.
Just around the corner from it though, you have a really big batch of drugs there. It's the same drug you're hitting up in Balls to the Wall. It's interesting. If you side with Somi, which keeps Alex alive at the end after talking to her, give it a couple of days and you'll get a nice postcard. It's just her saying hi, really, at the end of the day. It's just a nice touch again to know that a character is off doing something else. Whatever your thoughts about the cold-blooded murderers that are the FIA agents, well, there you go. One of them got to go have a holiday afterwards. That was nice. If you don't side with her, well, here's her memorial or tribute. Check out this. Oh, so they finally have hover cars in the game. That's pretty cool. Now, doing the raid questline when you go into the Militech underground base. I absolutely love this. It gave me such Alien Isolation vibes, not expecting it at all. It was actually really good. The animation of the AI-controlled four-legged spider bot thing was, it was just jerky and unpredictable enough, and yeah, it was horrible. I absolutely loved it. Now, if you are not shitting your britches like I was through the whole thing, you might have found these things on your first go-through, but I actually missed them, and it was only on the second time and I was a little bit calmer that I was able to find them. You can find 2 crafting specs. One is for the Militech Kanto Mark 6. No, not in Kanto. Also, the most negative sounding schematic in the game, which is cyberware, and it's iconic cyberware. Now, I don't think this would be my daily driver as far as cyberdecks go, but it basically unlocks the Blackwall Gateway Quick Hack, which is the Blackwall ability, the slightly reduced version of it that Somi transfers to you or enables you to use during her quest when you're rescuing her, and you feel super powerful. It's the same one, but I didn't feel it was quite as powerful with this, but it's still fun. It's also a little bit of a talkie toaster.
We're getting hacked!
Oh, well, another chatty construct. Guess you'll have to get in line.
Bit of a skippy that it talks to you and says some kind of scary things. There is another one you can get as well. It's a weapon, it's Erebus. You get that just here.
Fix will do, I think. Just gotta reroute the power. I've got enough for one shot.
You will be detected.
And that's another crafting spec, and you can only use one or the other of these, okay? Again, depending on playthrough, you can try them in multiple playthroughs or whatever, but this weapon is absolutely insane. Again, they talk when you're using it, and it's basically... it's like having a deal with the devil by using these things, because you are agreeing to give the Blackwall AI access and information by them letting you use this. In order to build these though, you do need a little something something. When you've taken out the Blackwall robot here, well actually it's not you, when Somi has taken out the Blackwall mech view here, you loot the thing you need from it just here. So the piece of equipment you get is the decoded behavioral systems component. It looks like a chip that you'd slot. And to actually craft it later on after the whole quest line, what'll happen is when you go out and about after the quest is finished, you will get a text message from these mysterious individuals. I will say individual, but we know it's a group of AI, and that leads you to a mission called this corrosion, where you get that component turned into something usable, at which point you can then go ahead and craft either the Kanto or Erebus. Both are a lot of fun to use, but I'm assuming there's going to be a trade-off to having had used them. So make sure you don't miss that in your haste to get in and rescue Somi. What's extra cool is the naming of Erebus. Erebus comes from Greek mythology, the personification of darkness. He is the offspring of chaos. He belonged to the first generation of gods who ruled over the cosmos. You also see Erebus in 40k as well. As for Kanto, I'm not sure if there's additional meaning there apart from the sections medieval poetry are broken up into. When you're running through the underground Militech facility, don't forget to check the data terminals every now and then, because the Blackwall AI will try and have a conversation with you through messages on there. It's fucking amazing. I love it. The Trauma Team rewards are absolutely awesome. Unfortunately, the game is practically impossible to get a high score in. For me, an old guy anyway, especially since 2.01. Apparently there was a way to cheese it prior to that, and you now can't do that. And yeah, if you want to get them, I think you need to complete the game with as little as 1 or 2 deaths only, and that's impossible for me. So yeah, I used mods to get this just so I could show you what the rewards were. It's hollow, but I do it because it's my job. And anyway, here it is. You get the cool outfit. And I like the way you get the rewards for this. When you get to apply to Trauma Team, you're not successful. You get your Trauma Team gear, however, and you get a nice little toy to put in your apartment. Check this out. It's so fucking cool. I love it. It's really good. It's just so cool. I love this shit. I'm such a sap for this kind of thing. I want to let you go now for today. YouTube thinks you'll like this video as well, so check that out if you want to. Alright, go on, get out of here. See you soon. Bye. What are you still doing here? Get out of here. Meow. Thanks for watching.